Hi guys, it's Jo. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today I'm going to be doing a book review of a book that I've read a long time ago, and I was meaning to do a book review on this, but I just haven't done it yet. So the book that we will be reviewing is Creating Money, Attracting Abundance by Sanaya Roman and I think Duane Packer. Forgive me if I pronounced the names wrong. I read this book a long time ago. As you can see, it's annotated and all of that good jazz. Now, for those of you who don't know me and don't know why I'm reviewing this book or why it's very significant to my channel to give you this little source of information, I am a spiritual advisor and I mostly teach women how to just, upgrade their lives, live their purpose, live their truth, etc. And that involves getting your money up and creating a level of abundance in your world. My best-selling program is called Financial Revision, and this program helps you just heal your money trauma and fix your relationship with money, like on a spiritual level, because I am a spiritual advisor. It does dive into like the management and like stuff like that, but it's more so like focused on your spiritual personal relationship with money and how you can fix that. It goes into finding out what your money story is, your origin story is with money, and how you can change that and how to just, upgrade your financial life to a better degree. I will link that in the description below, but this video is more so focused on, again, this book that I've recently read. Forgive me if I'm looking down. I have my notes here on my laptop, and yeah, I just wanted to like cover everything, make sure that we're good, and I don't leave anything like significant out. So the way that this review is going to be set up is that there's a score type of thing. There's a point system, and the most points that you can get is 25, and here are the categories. Each category is given 5 points. The categories are language, concept, comprehensibility, cover, and appropriateness. So with language, it's more so like, how well is this written? Can this book be like read well? Is it like, does the language translate well to the reader? Is it easy to read, or is it more difficult? Is it more for like an advanced reader? With these types of books, these like sort of self-help books, it's a little bit like language is very much important in this category. It's not like a classic novel where you just have to like get up to that level of reading in order to understand it and stuff. But with self-help, you should be able, like anyone really that has like maybe a 6th grade reading level, I would say, should be able to read this book and understand what's going on. So that's category number 1, language. Level 2, concept, pretty self-explanatory. Is the concept good? Is it well thought out? Is it performed well throughout this book? Some of you might be like, well, that's a given for books, but if you read, some people, like, they have a concept in mind and then they just don't follow through on it. They don't sell the plot, the story that they're trying to create. They don't like come back to the main point multiple times throughout their book, and it kind of just like goes off on this tangent storyline that doesn't really fit into what the book is supposed to be about, and I've come across more than I would like to of books that do that. So I think concept is a pretty good category to judge books based on. So that's why it's in here. Number 3 is comprehensibility. This kind of does tie into language, but it's more so like, sometimes, with language, it's like, okay, it's easy to read, but with comprehensibility, like, is it easy to understand? Sometimes you can read things and it's easy to like, you know, it's easy to read, it's easy to get through, but sometimes it's just like the message gets lost. Sometimes they don't explain it well enough or something like that. So comprehensibility is a big one, huge one, especially for self-help books or, finance books or anything that's trying to like help you improve yourself in any type of way. Really, with any book, comprehensibility is pretty up there. Like, are you explaining things in the way that you should? Of course, not everyone's going to get it, but it's just more so like, if like they are into it, if they have the knowledge to be able to grasp what you're trying to bring? Are you doing your part for the reader to be able to consume and understand what you're trying to get through to them? So that's number 3. And number 5 is cover. I don't care what anybody says, I do judge books by their cover. That's why I pick up most of them. So cover is definitely pretty important here. It's just like aesthetics category. If your cover's not pretty, not a lot of not a lot of readers are going to grab your book unless they've, it's like they want to read it through word of mouth. They've heard that it's pretty good, whatever. There are some books that do that, but there are some books that don't do that. So, or that don't have that level of like, I guess like a cult following or something like that. Um, so cover is very important. I don't care. It's in the category and it's number 4. So category number 5 is appropriateness. And this is a huge one for me, but especially if you're like dealing with books that revolve around spirituality and stuff, it's it's a very, very important category. So appropriateness basically is, you know, I guess like asking, does this book have anything revolving around sexism, racism, homophobia, or any other isms of ignorance that may occur? Does this book promote any sort of hate? Does it give a hateful message? And specifically for like nonfiction and self-help books, is this book like sort of like non-informational? Like, does it give like misinformation on things? And that's very important for self-help books. There's also another thing that I would like to add is that sometimes appropriateness does dive into sexual content. If you're reading a spicy book, for example, does like is the spiciness overload a bit like too much? Like, is the plot lost with all of that mess? Or is it like still like a book? Because for me personally, I would like to actually still read a story. If I'm reading a spicy book, I would still like to read a story between all the spicy scenes instead of just like reading spicy content. I feel like that's a bit vulgar, and if I wanted that, I would just like go look that up, you know what I mean? So yeah, so that is category number 5, appropriateness. Now that we've got the categories out of the way, let's get into this book review. So this book does a pretty good job with the language, I'd say. It's definitely like a book that anybody could read. Like if they read it in like 45 or 2045, I feel like anyone who picked up that book would be able to read it. It was written in 2007, and they do have some like events that occurred during that time, or like maybe before that, well, obviously before, because I can't tell the future, um, or before that, does sort of date the book a little bit, but overall it's pretty good, and they're just like little examples and not like the whole chapter. So I would say that it does do good on that part, and pretty much anyone can read this book without needing like any sort of context to understand certain concepts that are being talked about. This book was concisely and simply written so that literally anybody could read this. Like, I didn't have to judge through like paragraphs of stuff just to understand like some sort of concept that they were talking about. And it didn't take 30 years for me to finish a book, so because of like the complex encoded language. So this book is pretty easy, and when I mean pretty easy, like those who are like fast readers can finish this book in a day, and those who are not or like to take their time can finish it within like 5 days to 2 weeks. So if you want to finish more books for your Goodreads list for the year, or you're just looking a little bit for a little bit of variety, I would definitely recommend this book. Because again, it's pretty easy to finish. I did finish it within like 2 days. So also, there wasn't any of that like condescendence or like talking down that some self-help books. I don't know why I can't say that that phrase today. There wasn't any sort of language or tone like that some self-help books do carry. It was more like very welcoming and very guiding. It definitely uses like a gentle tone. It's kind of like sitting down with your favorite teacher and discussing a subject that you are both very passionate about. That's what this was giving, and I genuinely do adore that, and I do love that. They were like teaching you from a place of love, not from not from a place of like ego boosting, like egotistical, I don't know, tone. Um, so that's very nice. That's something that you rarely see. I won't say rarely see, but it's like kind of more uncommon for self-help books because I don't know, some people just like feel like they know more and they want to just like project that onto the reader a little bit instead of like coming from a place of love. There are some good self-help books out there, but I will say that the majority of them are from like a spiritualist standpoint, they are a little bit ego-y, I will say. But this book does not have that tone at all, so that is good. Overall, with language, this book gets a 5 out of 5. So, as a spiritual advisor, I do have to keep up with certain concepts, certain strategies that my clients might need, and money is a topic that we discuss a lot with in my business, and with my clients. So, this, I will say, I have read a lot of money books like revolving around just like basic help with around like financial help or whatever, managing money, spiritual things around money, like getting your mindset changed, mindset rewired around money. I have read like pretty much all of them. Like investing money, investing like sustainably or investing with ethics. I've I'm pretty well versed on the spectrum of when it comes to financial help. So when I tell you that this book hits the nail on the head with every single category. I won't say every single category when it comes to finance, but when it comes to like finance and spirituality, it's hitting the target 100%, and it's very rare that you get that in a self-help book, especially revolving around money. Sometimes they just like help you with your mindset or something like that, but this is very much a well thought out and thorough book. Um, and it touches on different aspects of money spiritually and physically as well, which is great and beautiful, and I highly recommend that. When I say they thought of every possible way to approach money, like in a generalized way, because obviously this is a book and they're not going to be able to help everyone with like every specific problem, but in a generalized way, they hit it on the head. And it's not even just that. This book is interactive too, so they have like little worksheets and practices that you can do in order to understand the concept, and that is so big, not even from like a spiritual like advisor standpoint, but also from like someone who's like a visual and hands-on learner. This is great. They knew exactly what kind of book they wanted to make, and they fulfilled that vision so well. I really just can't help but give this another 5. So the next category is comprehensibility. Um, this book did pretty much everything they possibly could to make you understand. They gave multiple examples, they gave like exercises. I mean, they even worded it to the point where it's like, if you don't get it now, you'll get it in this paragraph, or if you don't get it and then you'll get it like later on. And it's like, it's not even just this, it's the organization of it all. It's not just like one concept to another. No, they build upon each other. It's like taking college course You know, you start with one thing and then you gradually get to the bigger things as you move on. And that's exactly what this book did. It made it easy for people to understand things and reference back to other areas of the book and be like, oh, like you will have multiple, like, oh, I recognize this. I have like this connection to what you said previously, like moments when you read this book. And I'm like raving about this book. There are so many other books that I do recommend and that I do praise, but this one just deserves a book review. This one is like I feel like it should be the standard when it comes to spirituality and like money, like in having that like in like intertwinedness, if that makes sense. Also, one thing that I do love and that another like other books don't do, which I don't understand why they do that, but instead of like, you know, reading something and having the exercise that they give, um, like after they introduce a concept to you, no, they just reference it, like, do this, and then they put it at the end of the chapter. So not only is it like, and not at the end of the book too, which is like freaking, it's so good because like not only do you get, you know, things at the end of the chapter so they're easy to find, you can also just like go to table of contents and find out what you like need to exercise, find out like what you're struggling in at that moment, and then just go to the chapter instead of going to the back of the book and just freaking looking at everything. So not only do you have a reference where exactly where you need it, but you also have the chapter 2, which you can also reread, and it'll help explain everything much more, like much thoroughly than you would if you were just, you know, things would be in the back chapter or in the middle. It's just, it's such good organizing, and it's great. And I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but the sectioning, it's like there's like it's like a one part, two part, three-part book. But like the sectioning is so good because it actually makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it's consistent with the like the chapters that are in the section. I don't know if I'm wording that right. But yeah, like their grouping makes sense. It's like the concepts that you learn in section 1, maybe they're beginner, maybe they're like, you know, a little bit easier, but then you get to section 2 and they just expand upon that, and it's like more it furthers in complexity. It increases in difficulty, like the concepts increase in difficulty as you read, which is beautiful because that means that you are understanding things as you read on a deeper level to the point where you're able to understand these things at the end of the book, in section 3 or whatever. How many sections are in this book? And it's beautiful. So this book has to get another 5 out of 5 for comprehensibility. Now the cover. Look. If this did not say creating money, attracting abundance on the cover, then I would not know that this was like a financial book, or like any, like I could maybe assume that it was spirituality because like the spiral and the rainbow is kind of giving aura a little bit, but I wouldn't know that this is like a book about money if I picked up this cover, you know, or like if I looked at this cover. Besides, you know, the wording on it. But I will say that I do like the color. I think it's pretty. The spine is really pretty. I got this from thriftbooks. Use my code, link in the description. And yeah, the cover is really pretty. I just wish that it was like a little bit more like on brand with the subject a little bit. It's not like the most terrible cover in the world. It's definitely something that like you enjoy picking up because it's very pretty, but it's not cohesive with the message in the book. You know what I mean? So for that, I'm giving it like a 3.75 out of 5. They could have done better, but it's still a pretty book. I will say, and the back is like it's nice and organized, and yeah, and it doesn't have all that like, oh my god, I hate when they do that. They don't have like quotes or something from like a reviewer or whatever about the book, and it's like actually like a description of what the book is getting into. I really like it because of that. So yeah, again, it gets a 3.75 out of 5.
You're gonna get me in trouble.
Appropriateness, I would say that it did a fantastic job on keeping itself like level-headed and appropriate. With spirituality books, it's kind of just like a toss-up, you know, you never really understand on what you're picking up, what you're reading, you know, with like the whole star seed stuff and stuff. It's kind of just like you have to really be diligent about racism, sexism, and like anti-Semiticism or something. I think I'm saying that word wrong. Anti-Semitic. Anyway, anti-Semitic rhetoric. It's you got to be diligent about, you know, keeping an eye out for that stuff when you're getting into spirituality, because it's rampant and I wish it wasn't. But it's things like that, you know, especially now you have like the whole like divine feminine, divine masculine, and people are misconstruing the energies, like the actual like role of those energies, and they're just being like, um, you're in your divine feminine when you're like serving your husband and stuff like that. They're just portraying back, like they're just going back into their like patriarchal roles instead of focusing on like the true message of those energies. But whatever, it's fine. You can't stop people from doing what they're doing. You can only educate them and hope that they accept the education. Accept the education. But most times they don't, and they just keep doing the things that they're doing because that's what they want to do. But whatever. But yeah, there wasn't anything like overtly racist. There actually wasn't any like racism or any sexism in this book, or any sort of like isms of ignorance, which is what I like to say in this book. Um, I just feel like, though, like it's a bit too generic in a sense, you know. I know that they try to generalize things and like keep it so that everyone is like, you know, it's not for like any type of specific person other than someone who wants to upgrade like or like learn about spirituality and like finance at the same time, or really just like how spirituality integrates in like to like financial situations and stuff. But yes, I would say that it still earns a 5 out of 5 for appropriateness. Overall, this book is fantastic. It's phenomenal. I found myself bookmarking a lot of things in here, which I will read right now to you. So when I bookmark things, it's because I'm making connections with either what I am teaching my clients, and like it's like a kind of reaffirming thing, or like something that I know is something that people need to hear, or it's something that I need to hear, in which case it's sticky noted. So as you can see, there are lots of bookmarks but only one sticky note, and that's because I've already heard all of this before, but I'm so like just wrapped up in this. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like so good. It's a great book if you've already learned all of this and you're just like sort of like reaffirming that knowledge, or just like reintegrating that back into your life and stuff. It's a great book for that. But here's a quote from this. Be loving to yourself if you haven't taken action yet. Remember, there is a period of inner work before change takes place. You may be changing your thoughts, reevaluating your life, observing things from a new perspective, and gathering the energy needed to make a change. The greater the outcome changes you want to make, the greater the inner changes that must be made first. Isn't that beautiful? And then obviously it's like, well, not obviously, but it's like one of those books that have like affirmations in the middle of the like text, or like the chapters and stuff. And so this one is, I accept and love myself for who I am right now in that. It's so gorgeous. It's so beautiful. I love that. And here is another excerpt from the book. It says, people will pay you for the time, labor, and energy that is required for you talents available, to make your talents available to them. If you need money for your monthly expenses, your pay needs to be in the form of money. If you don't need money, you will want to ask for something in return for your services, for others cannot complete the flow of energy if they don't give something back to you. It may be it may be something as simple as appreciating your gift or using it to make a difference in their lives, or taking a few hours of their time to help you with something. People value and honor my work. And I think that's very important when it comes to spirituality and money, or just like money in general. Like, if you have services, you need to get paid for them. And how you take that form of payment is up to you, but like, this is what gets me, like, with people who are like, oh, you shouldn't pay for spiritual services. Like, why not? You know, it's just a skill like everything else is, but you think spirituality should be free? Like, obviously, spirituality is free, like, practicing spiritual stuff is free and stuff, but like, if you're looking for guidance, do you not pay for guidance? You know, if you need guidance in a subject, do you pay for tutoring? If you need guidance in your career field, do you not go to college and get all the skills and knowledge that you need? Do you not get a certificate or something? Do you not find a mentor within your field and help you level up in that career field or something like that? Like, you still pay for guidance. There's still, obviously there's free guidance, but still that there's an energy exchange taking place. You are giving them something, you know what I mean? So when it comes to spirituality and you're going to look for a spiritual advisor, why not pay them? Why do you think it's different then? It's not. It's not any different. So anyway, I just thought that was a good bookmark, because a lot of my clients do sometimes are spiritual advisors themselves, or want to become one, want to be like a life coach or something like that. I don't know. And I still have to say it to them, like, don't do it for free. Of course, you can offer, like, if you sign up for this, you get a freebie or whatever, because that's still an energy exchange. They're doing something for you so you can level up your business and stuff, but at the same time, you're doing something for them as well. So obviously, there are chances and times to do something for free, but at the same time, the energy exchange is still being fulfilled, still being completed, because they're doing something for you at the same time. And even in charity and stuff, you are giving, like, if you're donating to a charity, you're still like completing the energy exchange, because you believe in something, and so you're practicing, like, you believe in whatever that charity is doing, rather morally, ethically, or whatever it is, and you're giving them that money, and in return, you expect them to keep doing what they're doing, and so they do, right? It's an energy exchange. The exchange is completed. So I just want to point that out, that people do still get paid for their services, even if they provide the service for free, or, you know, product for free, whatever it is. But you should not expect people to give you things for free, and you should not give things for free without expecting anything in return. Um, because a return is necessary, especially if you're trying to increase your abundance. Return is necessary, even if, like, you're just doing it, things out of the goodness of your heart, like that lady that's like giving like the homeless people like food and stuff, like around her area. She's like has like a truck or whatever, and she gives like the homeless people food and like candy and like stuff like that, like water and stuff. Like, bless her heart, for real. Like, she's doing the Lord's work. But she's still getting something out of that exchange, regardless of if you see it or not. She's still getting something out of that exchange, whether that's like better karma, or like views on her YouTube channel so she can continue to do this for the people, or views on her TikTok or something like that so she can get paid and do things for the people donating to whatever she has like her services to, so she can still do things for the people. There's still an energy exchange taking place. And I'm just realizing now that I'm going on a tangent and this is supposed to be about a book. So anyway, yeah, that's the type of information that is in this book. I think it's very good and stuff like that, but obviously you're not, like, if you don't practice, you know, what's in here, then you're not going to level up as you would like to. You know what I mean? So obviously it's a good read, it's great, it's informational, but it's kind of just like you it's on you after that, you know what I mean? They give you everything that you need, but it's like up to you to fulfill that role in like getting your money up, you know what I mean? Or fixing your money trauma, or fixing your relationship with money. It's on you. And I feel like they did a good job, a well enough job for you to just get the basics down, grab your foundation, and figure out like a path towards the future to like amplify what you already have. I think they did an amazing job in preparing you for that. And so overall, this book gets a 4.75 out of 5. And yeah, that is my book review. So thank you so much, whoever wrote this book, Sanaya, Roman, and Duane Packer. Thank you so much for writing this book, because it's good, hands down, probably one of the best. One of the best. I'm gatekeeping a little bit, but one of the best financial, spiritual, intertwined books that I've ever read. And I am promoting this so that more readers or more people can read it. And yeah, I highly recommend, if you are here, to read it too. Um, I don't remember how much I got this book for. I think maybe it was like $10 on thriftbooks or something like that. It was pretty cheap. So again, use my link in the description so I can get more books. Thank you. But I think you also get like a $5 voucher too if you use the link too. So thank you so much for watching, and leave a like and a comment if you did enjoy this video. I hope that you did, because I've been meaning to do this video for a while. It just hasn't come out yet, and I'm so sorry for that, even though you didn't know that was supposed to come out, but it was supposed to come out a while ago. Anyway, and I've worked hard on it and stuff, and I actually read a book for you guys, like, be so for real. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so yeah, leave a like and a comment if you like this book. All my social media links will be down in the description if you want to follow me, because I do post content elsewhere on YouTube, elsewhere on the internet sphere. Don't forget to subscribe, because I have a lot of you who don't subscribe but yet watch my YouTube videos, and I think, if you're gonna lurk, at least lurk and like be subscribed, you know what I mean? So please subscribe to my channel. I am working really hard, and I'm almost at 100 subscribers, so please, please, please subscribe. Anyway, so yeah, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for being here. Bye.